Welcome to Spiritual Changemakers, the podcast that guides you through tough times with practical tools and inspiring stories. I'm Andrea Thomas, your host and the Sacred Transitions Coach. Join us as we hear from spiritual changemakers who have connected with their higher power and overcame adversity. Whether you are navigating a difficult transition or seeking to deepen your spiritual practice, our podcast provides guidance to help you find magic in the change. Come on this journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and transformation with us and unlock your potential to become your best self. Welcome, my beautiful souls, to a new podcast episode. I am so happy to be here with you. So happy to record this episode from Austin, Texas. And today is the episode number 100. And we are going to speak about miracles, synchronicities, divine guidance. How do you get to trust more, lean more, and to keep going when you have no idea what you're doing, when you feel terrified to move forward, and very important, how to change your relationship with resistance, how to look at resistance as your guiding force instead of something that, oh, that means I should not do it. So welcome. And if you're new to this podcast, please leave a review, leave a comment. It really helps me reach more people. Subscribe to the podcast. And thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And let's dive right into what do you say? So I'm going to start with what the heck am I doing in Austin? And when I came into the States in the summer last year to sell my home, which if you have not listened to the podcast episode about that, please go back and listen to it. I started receiving signs about Austin. And what do I know about that? And how do we know it's actually a sign and not just our mind making it up? So I remember I was on the internet, on Instagram more exactly, and I start seeing to people that I'm following that they are in Austin, Texas. And I'm like, whatever. Then I'm having some podcast interviews with some amazing guests that are about to release soon. And when I speak with them, they're like, oh, I live in Austin, Texas. I'm like, and I'm starting to have chills in my body as I hear that. And that's a way for us to know there is something there for me. For me, it comes through chills in the body, which feels like truth. So I was like, oh. And I remember even telling to my ex-partner that there is something with Austin. I don't know what it is, but there is something with it, because when I think about it, when I come across it, I have these chills. I have this energy moving through me, but I don't know what it is. And I am not going to worry about it right now because I am going to go to Peru. So I went to Peru. I did my things there, worked with shamans, did some ceremonies, traveled, met some soul family, which was absolutely amazing. But then I keep feeling the call to come back to the States. So how did I hear that call? You might wonder right now. And there was this program, this business program that I have been part of for many years now. I don't even know, 4 or 5 years. And as part of that program, I have a ticket to a live event. And I have not been able to go to the live event so far because either there was COVID or I traveled the world and I was not around here. But then after I went to Peru, my mentor was like, keep sending emails and okay, it's happening, the event, who's coming? And I was, no, I'm not going to go because I want to stay in South America. But then he said, this is going to be our last live event. We do not know for how long. And I was like, what? The last event? But I was like, okay, no FOMO. Let me see. I do not want to go back to the States. I want to continue staying in South America. But after that, the thought of coming back to the States and of going to that event, it was like this in the back of my mind all the time, like tuk 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 tuk, hello, hello. Do you know that nagging voice where you know you should do something, but your mind is like, nope, makes no sense. I am not going to do it. So I did that for a couple of weeks. No, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going. But at the end, that freaking voice was so loud that I'm like, oh, I think I have to do it. I think I have to go back and do it. And there I was, bought my ticket just a few weeks before the event, and I came back to the States. And as the date was approaching, even when I bought the ticket, I'm like, am I buying a return ticket to Peru? And I was feeling a no, because I'm so connected right now with my body, with my intuition. And honestly, usually the first thought, the first answer that comes through when you ask a question, that is the truth that is coming through you. But then we start overthinking and analyzing, and we come up with different answers. So for me, it was coming no. And I'm like, but I do not want to travel. I do not want to continue travel. And what am I going to do after? I don't know. Like, am I going to stay back in the States? I don't want to stay in the States. Anyhow, I surrendered it. I bought a one-way ticket to come to the States. And all I knew is after the 3-day event was that I am going to go to Sedona for 3 other days to meet with some of my friends. And I prayed and I told the universe, can you please give me guidance and give me my next destination while I am at the event? Like, give me that guidance. So it was the second day of the event, and I was talking with my roommate, which a whole different other story around this. But we were super aligned and a lot of synchronicities. And I was talking with my roomie, and there was another girl too. And they were asking me, Andrea, what are you doing after this? And I'm like, I don't know. I have Sedona. And after that, I still don't know. And my roomie looks at me and she said, I actually see a map of Texas and I see Austin on it. And I was like, what? I have not told her anything about Austin. I'm like, what? You see Austin? And I was almost like mad because I'm like, I don't want to go back. Like, I don't want to stay in the States. I don't want to go to Austin, because I was considering actually to go to Costa Rica. I'm like, I want tropical, I want ocean, I want water. And I'm like, since I have the freedom to just go anywhere I desire, I was like, I want to go in a tropical place. And I was like, what? You said Austin? I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, it's not decided yet. But I'm like, thank you. And the next day, I'm going to have lunch with a friend that I've met there. I'm sitting with her at the table, and I'm telling her the story about my roommate, what she said. And meanwhile, for me, from the day before until I had a lunch, I prayed and I told the universe, okay, universe, if you're going to give me another like obvious sign, if you're going to give me an obvious sign for me to go to Austin, I promise I'm going to listen. And that's it. I released it. And then I was speaking with this friend and I'm telling her the story about my roommate. And guess what? Just a few minutes after, there is another girl sitting on my left from the same event. And we started talking. And just within like 3 phrases, she's telling me, oh, I live in Austin, Texas. My mind was, what? Because guess what? She was the confirmation. She was the answer that I told the universe if I'm gonna receive another sign that it's obvious, I'm gonna go. And I was, oh my God. I'm like, no, because I didn't really want to come. And then I connected with the girl. She gave me her contact, and not just that, but she gave me also a link to a WhatsApp group with housing where to stay in Austin. And I was just mind blown. After that launch, I'm opening my emails and I see the first email has an opening. The first line of the email is Austin. And I'm breathing through it, and I was, wow, how many more signs are you going to send me? I'm like, okay, I hear you. I hear you. So I went to Sedona, and even though I was still like having this very big resistance, I decided to buy my ticket in just a few days to buy it to come to Austin. It was right before Christmas, on the 19th of December. And guess what? I bought the most expensive ticket so I can change it or cancel it, because part of me was still like, I don't want to go there. I don't know anyone. What am I gonna do there? I was still like having this huge resistance. So I'm like, I will buy the flexible one, and if there is something, I will just cancel it or change it, and that's it. I'm gonna allow myself to change my mind. Oh, and I went back in Arizona to visit a friend for a few days. And while I was there, I was searching for housing, where to stay in Austin. Nothing was feeling right. Nothing was feeling exciting. And I'm like, there were also a lot of scammers. So please be aware. Like on Craigslist, there was this website, Roomies, like lots of scammers. So make sure you do your research so you don't let yourself be scammed if you are looking for housing. Because my idea was, I don't want to just book something for a few days. If I go, I'm going to go for at least 1 month, because I kind of made this my rule when I go to new places, to go for at least 1 month, because honestly, it's so dreading and so hard for the body, for my routines, for my business, for everything to constantly move. No, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna book something for 1 month. And I wrote in the WhatsApp group that I'm looking for a room or a studio to stay in Austin. And 3 days before I came, I was still not having an apartment. I was still not having a place to stay. And I was continuing feeling that huge resistance not to come. And I was literally on my computer looking for tickets to Costa Rica. I was telling myself, you know what? Maybe it's just not meant to be. I don't feel the excitement. I haven't found a place where to stay. It doesn't flow, it doesn't flow. So I was looking for tickets to Costa Rica. But when I was looking for tickets to Costa Rica, that was not feeling like exciting either, And then I also had the option to go to Tahoe, where I used to live for 8 years in Lake Tahoe, where one of my friends invited me, and to stay with them and just spend Christmas with them. And I was feeling into it. And I'm like, okay, I could go to Tahoe if I'm not going to Austin, at least right now. I could spend my holidays with my friends. But then I could feel like this stop of, I've been there, I've done that. That's not part of my evolution right now. That's not part of my growth. And part of me was, but that's gonna be, so much fun to be with your soul family from Tahoe. And even though it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be okay. But as I was leaning and feeling into it, it was a clear, no, that's not the path. That's not where you should go. So just 3 days before I came to Austin, I received a message from a guy who calls himself Naughty Monkey. And he sends me this short reel with Tantra Temple, and it is the place I'm actually doing this podcast episode from right now. And he shares the rooms and so on. But I'm like, the room is not great, but I felt excited about the place. I felt excited to come here. And it's an Indian guy having another roommate as an Indian guy. And as I was feeling this excitement, yes, in my body, my mind was, you are crazy. You are insane. You cannot go into a stranger's place that you have no recommendations, you know nothing about, and just go and be with two Indian guys? Are you crazy? They can harass you, they can violate you, they can, like, my mind went to the worst case scenario, which 100% it can happen. And at the same time, I also know we create our reality with discernment. Yes, with discernment. And I was telling myself, okay, but this is what feels aligned right now. What if I go, and if I feel anything at all that I don't feel safe or something, I'm just going to give myself the permission to live in that moment. Like, I don't have to stay, not even for a week. And by knowing that, okay, I can trust myself, that I can feel into things, I can trust myself, that I can make that decision, I can trust myself that I can protect myself and leave the environment if I don't feel safe, I decided to come. And as I was driving, I was in the Uber, I was not the driver, but as I was in the Uber, I could feel how my heart was racing, my palms were sweating, and my nervous system was a wreck, because now I'm able to recognize it. And I started breathing, I started tapping to calm my nervous system. And I was looking around as I was in the car, and I was asking myself, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Anyhow, I arrived at the apartment, and the guy came, helped me with the luggage, and I was so nervous. I could barely speak, and I actually communicated that with both of them, that, guys, my body is terrified right now for being here. Like, I don't feel safe. And they have been so amazing of helping me arrive in the space. And from the first day we have met, we spent 7 hours together where we got to know each other, connect, and it was just, wow, we are soul family. Like, we are, we came together as this trio to really support each other. And each and every one of us has different gifts. And ever since I arrived here, I arrived into a place where these guys are so deep into the community, into the conscious community here in Austin, because guess what? There is such a big conscious community here. And they even call it, some of them I heard calling it Sacred Valley of US, and Sacred Valley in Peru, it's like the hub for conscious community, for spirituality. And from the first day, we started going to events, and within less than a week, the three of us actually did an event together where we weaved all of our gifts together, and we brought them to the community. And one of them is a tantra teacher, and another one is a kirtan singer. He's a singer. And we brought the tantra, my breathwork, the kirtan, and we just did this 3 hours event. And it was like this, such a big opening. I was, wow. And ever since I have arrived here, I have done an event every single week. I have connected with the community, get to know people. Now I go places and I'm like, wow, I know that person and I know that person. And it has been such a magical, miraculous experience so far, with a lot of expansion. And this is where I want to bring in the resistance, because you remember how much I resisted it for me to come here. And I remembered learning and experiencing in the past as well that when there is a big resistance towards something, that means there is also a big expansion, because you go out of your comfort zone, new people, new environment, and of course it depends what is about. But for me, it has helped me connect so much deeper with my gifts, with what I'm here to do, with really seeing like firsthand, with meeting with people in person and facilitating in person, of the impact that my work has on them. Oh my God. And this is one part of it. And another part that I have been feeling resistance towards is my direction in my purpose, in what I'm here to guide people through. And when I was in Peru, it came to me when I did Wachuma, a plant medicine, a cactus, which is not halogenic. It's very grounded, where a lot of grief in that moment came up around my dad. And also it came to me, allow yourself to feel the grief, to feel the pain, because that's when you're going to be able to really help and guide others as well. And grief with purpose, it's what came up in that moment. And I was feeling it, and I'm like, nope, I'm not here to help people with grief. No way I'm going that direction. I do not want to work with those emotions. I do not want to work with people that are in that stage of grief. And as I arrived here, I was doing a course, a mini course, a workshop with some girls from the same business event. We met here. Anna, it's her name. It's the girl who was like my confirmation. I actually got to meet with her here. And we were doing a course on messaging, on offering, and so on. And it was like, okay, you have to pick a direction. You have to pick a line. You have to pick a focus. And as I was there, I was like, wow, whenever I say what my focus has been, which has been lately for a while now, conscious money, and to build a different relationship with money, as I was feeling that in my field, in my energy, in my body, I was, oh my God, I don't feel anything. And I was noticing how I was actually even not showing up as much, not showing up as fully on social media, in my business, and so on, because I was not feeling the connection. And there was needed a pivotal change towards where I'm going in this expansion that I am in right now. Because last year it was all about letting go. No, it was about, I've let go of my old identity through selling my home. Like, I've let go of relationships. It was just shedding and letting go. And now I have created the space for the new. So what was that new that wanted to emerge? And guess what? From ever since I did the ceremony with the Wachuma, this grief with purpose has constantly like stayed in my awareness. The same as I was telling you, like the nagging voice that I had with the event. It was the same with this. It was constantly keep coming. And then when I was going through the exercises of choosing my direction, I put both down. Now I put, okay, the conscious money, continuing helping people with abundance, with money, and so on, or grief with purpose. And I was feeling so much resistance towards grief with purpose. And I was keep hearing, like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go there. I just don't want to. And at the same time, I could feel how my heart was in it. I could feel how the medicine I carry, it can actually truly support people transform and transmute the grief that they have been experienced, that they have been carrying, into something meaningful, into a creation, into purpose. And as I allowed myself to soften into that, I made the decision that this work is not about me. It's not about what I want to do or what I don't want to do, what I like or what I don't like. It's about the mission that I'm put here on this earth to go through, to move through. And if you have been with me for a while now on my journey, you know that I've experienced quite a bit of grief. Grief has been a big initiator for me. And grief, like I had this misconception before that grief happens only when we lose someone. No, grief happens when we let go of old identities, when we move to a new place, when we go through a breakup, when we lose someone dear, when we lose a pet. It's like it has so many underlines and it shows up in so many forms. And as I was reflecting back on my life experience, first and foremost, I was realizing how I have constantly been choosing these big initiations, going through big life-changing, altering experiences. And some of them I chose, some of them I did not choose consciously. And one of them, for example, was my near-death experience, that happened over 11 years ago, when I almost died and I was in a coma for 2 days, and that was a death in itself. And I realized many years after that I never gave myself the space to grieve that part of me that actually died in those 2 days when I was in coma, because when I came back, I was a totally different person. So I'm sharing all of this with you to see, to understand, to feel that life is not linear, to give yourself the permission to lean into your resistance, give yourself permission to trust yourself, to trust that no matter what is going to happen, I got myself, I got my back. I can trust in myself to make the right decisions that are going to serve me in that moment, that I can take care of myself. And to see that when we lean in, there is so much magic unfolding, which we could not experience otherwise. We could not experience if we constantly just live in our comfort zone, if we just move through life having the same experiences, the same day over and over and over again, repeating. And I'm not saying for some people that's life. For some people, that's what they want. And that's okay. But I know those that are here, those that are listening to this episode, is that you are here because you know you are meant for more. You are meant to live a big, grandiose, miraculous life. And I want to share with you that it's possible, because I am experiencing it every single day. And I'm not saying it's easy, because you heard me saying that, oh my gosh, it was so freaking hard. But it's hard, it's so hard until we are able like to break through. No, it's like we have to go through that, that resistance, that point of breaking through. And once we break through, once we are on the other side, things are just gonna blossom, are gonna unfold, are gonna open miraculously, as it has for me as well. Because even right now, just last night, I did a in-person breathwork with Natty Monkey, and now we are putting together a course. We are putting together a program, a transformation for those that want to take their desires into creation and want to live this type of life where they manifest their desire, and they know they've tried on their own and they did not succeed. And they are ready to have the guidance, to have the support from those that have already achieved it, from those that have already been through it. So if this is something that interests you, send me a DM and I will share more information with you about how to bring your desires into creation. And this is an embodied manifestation where we are going to take you through a lot of different practices on a journey where you get out of your head and you bring your manifestations into the body, into the unconscious. And Nati Monkey's expertise is tantra and energy work and chakras and so on. And for me, I'll bring my juiciness, which is the coaching, the rebirth breath work, and many other tools for you to have the accountability, to have the support, to have the community, and to have a full, total transformation where you get to trust yourself, where you get to really create your life by design. And I want you to take a big breath in with me right now. And allow yourself to just feel the transmission, the stories that I have shared with you today. And also, if you go through grief, if you've experienced grief and you are ready for a deeper support on that level, please reach out. I am right now in the stage of putting together a community for that, because I know having like sustained support when we experience grief, because grief, just like life, it's not linear, that okay, I feel now the pain and after I'm just gonna move forward and it's all good and perfect. No, it's like it's at the peak, then it goes down, then it's a peak again, then it's like more straight, and it's like this, like, oh my god, what's happening and what am I experiencing it. And having a support, a community around you that gets you, feel you, And that also helps you elevate. Yes, helps you elevate because the spaces I'm curating right now, they're not going to be for people that want to continue like staying in the grief. They are for the people who are like, okay, I've been there, I've done that. Now I'm ready to transmute it. Now I'm ready to like allow that pain to fuel me to bring something into creation, to connect deeper with my purpose, to create deeper with my mission. And this is where I come in. I am the bridge that is going to help you cross from one side to another. So this is just for you to know at what stage should you contact me and at what stage you should reach out. And just to see this in practice, for me, I started this podcast, oh my God, I think over 2 years ago. And one of the reasons I started it, you're gonna see if you listen to my first podcast episode. I started this podcast episode with that intention, with that creation, with that purpose to honor him, honor his journey, and allow him also to move through me in this space, in this avenue, and share with you the wisdom, the lived experiences, the tools, the stories that had an impact and had transformed my life and his life and other people's lives, and really connecting you deeper with your faith, with your spirituality. Because for me, if I wouldn't have faith and the belief that there is something higher, the belief that there is life after death, I don't know how I would have made it. I would have probably not be here right now talking to you. So because I know how much this part has helped me so much move forward in life, and not just move forward, but move forward in a way that I feel good. I feel that I lead myself in a way that I'm proud of, that I'm like, hell yes, Andrea, you got this, you can do this. And I'm doing this in co-creation with the divine. I'm not doing it alone, with all of my angels, all of my guides, including my partner who's on the other side, including my dad who's on the other side. So I am literally surrounding myself with this love and this support, not only here on earth, because I do have a lot of support here on earth, but also on the spiritual plane. And this is something I have developed over the years after I have been so disconnected from God, so disconnected from a higher power. And my life totally transformed when I brought this aspect back into my life, but in a way that resonated with me, not what I've been told that I should connect with. And that's my desire for you too. So please reach out, send me a DM on Instagram, leave a review, can subscribe to the podcast, and stay connected. Stay connected. I'm so grateful for having you here and for sharing this journey together. Happy 100 episode! And I will see you in the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in to Spiritual Changemakers podcast. To stay connected and help us reach more people like you, please subscribe, follow, and leave a comment.
Join our community of spiritual changemakers on social media to connect with like-minded individuals and continue the conversation. Remember, the power to create positive change is within you. Keep showing up as your best self, and let's keep the magic of change alive. Until next time.